There is a back room behind the counter of almost every jewelry store in America that customers never get to see. It has a workbench, a microscope, a small loop on a leather strap, and a row of tiny tools that look more like dental instruments than anything you would associate with luxury. When you hand your ring across the counter for a cleaning, a resizing, or a free inspection, that ring disappears into the back room for what the staff casually calls a quick check. What actually happens in there over the next few minutes, or sometimes the next few days, is the part of the jewelry industry nobody is supposed to talk about. I have spent years inside this trade, and I can tell you that the moment your ring leaves your hand at the counter, a series of decisions begin that you were never consulted on, never warned about, and almost never billed for in writing. Some of these decisions are harmless. Some of them quietly cost you thousands of dollars.
And one of them, the last one on this list, is the reason serious collectors refuse to let their rings out of their sight under any circumstance. Today we are walking through 5 things jewelers do to your ring you never find out about. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which questions to ask the next time a salesperson smiles and offers you a complimentary inspection. The thing at number 1 happens to more rings every single year in America than any other form of jewelry damage, and almost no customer ever discovers it. Let us begin. The first thing they do is called rhodium replating, and it is the silent fee built into white gold ownership that nobody explains to you before you sign the paperwork. Here is the truth about white gold. There is no such thing as naturally white gold. Pure gold is yellow. Always has been, always will be.
To make white gold, jewelers mix it with paler metals like palladium or nickel, and even then, the result is a dull, warm gray, not the bright, icy white you see in the case. To get that bright finish, every single white gold ring on the market is plated with a thin layer of rhodium, a member of the platinum family that costs more per ounce than gold itself. Rhodium wears off. Every ring, every brand, every price point, no exceptions. Within 12 to 18 months of daily wear, the plating thins and the warm gray gold underneath starts to show through, usually first on the underside of the band, where it rubs against your finger. When you bring the ring in for a free cleaning, the jeweler quietly replates it, hands it back gleaming, and you walk out thinking they did you a favor. They did not. They reset the clock on a fee you will be paying every year or two for the rest of the ring's life. Independent jewelers charge between £50 and £120 per replating. Chain stores fold it into warranty plans that quietly expire. Nobody put this on the original price tag. The second thing they do is swap your prongs without telling you. Prongs are the tiny claws of metal that hold your diamond in place, and they wear down. Every time your ring brushes against a counter, a door frame, or the inside of your handbag, microscopic amounts of metal shave off. Over 5 to 10 years, prongs can thin to the point where a single firm knock will dislodge your stone. Responsible jewelers re-tip them, adding a small dab of fresh gold or platinum to the worn tip. Less responsible jewelers do something else. They cut off the old prong entirely and weld on a new one made from whatever scrap metal is sitting on the bench that morning. If your ring is platinum and the new prong is white gold, the color difference is invisible to the naked eye, but the structural strength is completely different. Platinum is denser and more elastic. White gold is harder but more brittle. A mismatched prong is a stress point waiting to fail. And you will never know it happened because the work was done in a back room you never saw. The third thing they do happens during resizing, and this one genuinely shocks people when they hear it. When you bring your ring in to be sized up or down, the jeweler cuts the band, removes or adds a piece of metal, and solders it back together. The honest version of this job uses a small piece of matching gold from a controlled supply, fluxes the joint, heats it to exactly the right temperature, and finishes it so the seam is invisible. The shortcut version uses whatever scrap metal of roughly the right color is closest to hand. If your ring is 18-carat yellow gold and they patch it with 14-carat scrap, your ring is now technically a mixed metal ring. The hallmark on the inside still says 18-carat. The actual purity of the band is now lower. Over time, the patched section will tarnish differently from the rest of the band, oxidize faster, and respond differently to polishing. When you eventually try to sell the ring or trade it in, an experienced jeweler will spot the mismatch immediately and reduce the trade-in value accordingly. The original retailer pocketed the labor fee. The downstream cost is yours. The fourth thing they do is the one that costs customers the most money in the long run, and it is so quiet that most people will never notice it has happened at all. It is called recutting, and it applies to diamonds that come in for repair after suffering chips or cracks. A diamond with a small chip on the girdle, the thin edge that runs around the widest part of the stone, can be sent to a cutter who grinds and repolishes the chipped area to remove the damage. The result is a diamond that looks flawless again, but it is now smaller.
A 1-carat diamond that gets recut to remove a chip might come back as a 0.92-carat diamond. To the eye, the difference is invisible. On paper, on certification, and on resale value, the difference is substantial. If the jeweler does not provide you with updated certification reflecting the new weight, you walk out believing you still own a 1-carat stone. The next appraiser, the next insurance valuation, the next buyer will know otherwise. Always demand the original GIA certificate back, along with any updated paperwork after a stone has been worked on. If the jeweler hesitates, that hesitation is your answer. If this breakdown is changing how you think about your local jeweler, hit the like button and subscribe. The fifth and final thing on this list is the one that keeps experienced collectors awake at night, and it is the reason some buyers refuse to drop their rings off for any service at all. The fifth thing they do is stone substitution.
This is the practice this entire industry has fought class action lawsuits over for the past decade. The pattern is consistent. A customer drops off a ring for a routine service. The ring goes into the back room. When it comes back, the customer notices something subtle. The diamond looks a little less bright. The fire seems slightly different under the lights at home. Some customers shrug it off as imagination. The ones who pursue independent appraisals discover that the stone in their ring is not the stone they originally bought. The substitution typically involves replacing a slightly higher grade diamond with a slightly lower grade diamond of the same approximate carat weight and similar appearance. To the untrained eye, the swap is undetectable. Under a loupe with a trained gemologist looking at the inclusion pattern, the difference is obvious. Every diamond has a unique fingerprint of internal inclusions, the gemological equivalent of a vein pattern in your fingerprint.
If your original GIA certificate documents your diamond's inclusions and the stone in your ring does not match that diagram, you are holding a different diamond. The legal recourse for this is limited. Most chain store warranty programs include language requiring you to bring the ring in for inspection every 6 months at the original location of purchase, and missing one inspection voids your coverage. The same warranty often includes binding arbitration clauses that prevent class action lawsuits. By the time most customers realize something has changed, the original chain of custody is impossible to prove. This is exactly why the most experienced collectors in this industry follow one rule above all others. Never let your ring leave your sight. If a jeweler needs to take it to the back, ask to come with them. If they refuse, walk out. So here is the framework that ties this entire video together. Before you ever hand your ring over a counter, ask 5 questions.
1. Will the work be done on the premises while I wait, or sent out to an off-site workshop? 2. Will I receive an itemized written quote before any work begins? 3. Will you photograph the ring with a date stamp before and after the work? 4. Will you provide a written description of every part of the work performed, including the type and origin of any metal added? 5. Will the original certificate be returned to me along with any updated documentation? A jeweler who answers all 5 clearly and in writing is a jeweler you can trust. A jeweler who hesitates, deflects, or pressures you to leave the ring without these guarantees is showing you exactly the kind of business they run. This is the ring you will wear every single day for the rest of your life. The people who service it deserve at least as much scrutiny as the people who sold it to you in the first place.
If this video saved you from a costly mistake, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more honest jewelry industry breakdowns. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 surprised you the most, or if you have ever suspected something happened to your ring during a service, share the story. The community in the comments helps everyone make better decisions. I will see you in the next one.